Hello and welcome to the video, ladies and gentlemen. And this is one really big movie that, I loved it. I liked it. The first movie, Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths, was spectacular. They ended up wrecking the towers in order to try to protect themselves, and the Monitor was around and all that other stuff. But this is the continuation, and let's just get into it. So starting off, we ended up seeing the tower being built, and Joker supposedly was running away from Batman, but it wasn't Joker, it was Commissioner Gordon, and he had been Jokified, poisoned, and Batman tries to give him the antidote, but it's too late and he dies. And then all of a sudden, Batman starts to see the real Joker, who ended up breaking out with a tank, trying to destroy the tower. And Batman's telling him, if you end up destroying the tower, you're gonna end up destroying all reality. And Joker's all like, yeah, right, sure. Let's see if that's actually what happens. Ha ha ha. And Solomon Grundy and Killer Croc are helping him, and Batman's trying to fight them off, but then the other Robin and Batman and other Robin and Huntress, they show up and they're helping Batman, and Batman's all like, I'm not your Batman. I never recruited children, so sorry about that. But they continue helping him, and they try to end up dealing with the tower situation, but Psycho Pirate is in a different location and giving the background story of his origin, and he tries to explain everything. And the Monitor is in space, seeing the explosion of Krypton, and they spot Kara Zor-El, and he's all like, she's in my way, and the machine, the AI machine that's helping him, ends up taking her on board and trying to help her. The Monitor ends up telling him like, why did you bring her on? And he's all like, well, it was either bring her on or jettison her into space and kill her. At least this way, you can end up having some company, I guess. But he ended up accepting her and ended up having meals with her and educating her. And in the meantime, Psycho Pirate is still giving Dr. Fate his background story, and the Monitor ends up educating Kara and trying to help her recover her past memories. She ends up finding her ship, and a flood of memories end up coming back, and she remembers, my planet ended up exploding. And Psycho Pirate, meantime, is giving his origin story, and that he ended up taking over the very first kingdom was Atlantis. And in the meantime also, Kara is... Sorry guys, this is a really fast-paced movie. This is a fast-paced movie, beat by beat, and you don't get any time to breathe. It's a continuous bombardment of events. So let's continue. Kara is pissed off, and she ends up telling him like, you do nothing to help out the planets, you just watch them. I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna help. So she ends up leaving, and Dr. Fate ends up giving Psycho Pirate the ability to transfer from dimension to dimension, because he has a purpose. He has a purpose to fulfill in this event, in this crisis. And Kara ends up coming back to Earth, well, not coming back, arriving on Earth, and she ends up looking for her cousin, Superman, but the Monitor ends up taking her, and then she ends up getting pissed off, and she tries to heat vision him, but he ends up telling her, no, you don't understand, there's some event that is happening right now. Everything is in destruction. Everything is being destroyed by an antimatter wave, and we need to save everything, because If everything gets destroyed, then everything's gone. And then there will be nothing. So he ends up recruiting her and gives her some of his life energy. And in the meantime, the Flash is going from location to location because he's trying to end up getting this Psycho Pirate guy. And Harbinger ends up arriving and telling him, look, everything is destroying. If you are one of the major powerful entities, you are one of the super beings that are so powerful that you can actually make a difference. You can save, and if you don't save, then there's nothing. So it's kind of an ultimatum. And moving on, the Monitor ends up taking Kara and giving her the ability, like I said, some of his life energy, and she is a major proponent to the salvation of the other planets. She's helping them, going from place to place also, and Superman is trying to explain to her of like all this other stuff. Everyone's trying to deal with emotions, everyone's trying to deal with stuff at the same time while the towers are under attack. And Psycho Pirate convinces the Monitor to give him some of his power, amplifying his own, tricking him, and in the meantime, all of the other Justice League members on all realities are trying to figure out what's going on, and the Beetle ends up, Blue Beetle ends up telling Pirate, look dude, I know what you're up to. You're up to no good, and there's nothing that you can do that's gonna change me otherwise, and I'm gonna convince everybody of your psychoticness. And Psycho Pirate instead makes Blue Beetle like him, but ends up getting transferred to another location. And Batman ends up seeing some shadow monsters that are showing up, and the Justice League sees a lot of shadow monsters showing up, trying to destroy the towers. And the Anti-Monitor ends up getting Psycho Pirate. He ended up transferring him into himself and telling Psycho Pirate, look, there's other stuff that you can do. You can change the realities. Why are you helping them the way that you are helping them? And Psycho Pirate's telling you, like, look, there's no other choice. If I don't help them, then everything gets destroyed and everything is gone. I have no choice. And the Anti-Monitor tells him, no, there is a choice. You can end up making everybody into your own image, and I'm going to help you. I can help you create your own universe. And the Anti-Monitor basically manipulates him. Meanwhile, shadow beasts are attacking the towers, and this gorilla being ends up getting killed, and this boy right here is the last survivor of his dimension, where basically there is no other humans and there is no anybody. So he ends up being the only person on that planet to keep the tower running. And Wonder Woman ends up seeing a different world with a whole entire world of Amazons, a world of Amazons who have subjugated the male race into being prisoners while they run their world. And yeah, that's interesting. But the Psycho Pirate ends up convincing Kara that she is the only one that can end up making a difference, that she is the only one that can end up saving everything, because the Monitor has been around watching everything be destroyed and he is responsible for it. He convinces her that the Monitor is somehow responsible for all of this devastation and she's the only one that can change it. And he ended up blasting every single reality in that world. He ended up devastating that reality, that whole planet, with his hate. He ended up making everybody amplify hate right there, and amplified the wave somehow, the antimatter wave that's destroying everything. And the Monitor somehow realizes that he is responsible for everything. somehow he's responsible for everything. And the Spectre ends up telling him, so you finally realized it, so you finally figured it out, that you're the one responsible for this. And Constantine ends up remembering who he is. On one planet, he ends up being around for over 100 or over 1,000 years, and he had forgotten who he was. And John Stewart, Green Lantern, ends up basically telling him, can you do something? Can you do something to help us right now? And he's like, look, I just remembered who I am. I just realized this. And John Stewart ends up taking his lantern, overcharging it, and blowing everyone up. And the demons, the monsters, the shadow monsters. And the hate that Psychopirate amplified ends up making everybody hate each other and fight each other. But by the time that they realize that they are being controlled, it's too late, and the shadow beasts, the shadow monsters, end up all coming into one. And by that time, the Monitor realizes that I am responsible and all this is happening, and Supergirl shows up and she's like, I am going to kill you because you've been watching it. She's been consumed by the Psychopirate's hatred as well, brainwashed. And everyone's trying to fight this giant shadow monster, but they realize something. The shadow monster is the anti-Monitor. He is somehow connected to the Monitor and ends up encasing himself in armor. And Supergirl ends up killing the Monitor and realizes what has she done. She has destroyed one of her stepdad, her adopted dad. And the anti-Monitor is about to blast them with a antimatter wave. And that is the cliffhanger, and that is the ending of Crisis on Infinite Earths 2. I really enjoyed this. I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was great. I really look forward to the next one. You guys, did you enjoy this? Is this something that you guys can't wait for episode 3? I can't wait for part 3. You guys have a good one. See you on the next one. This is Alon Video. Have a good one. Take it easy. Bye-bye.